Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I'll be discussing companion planting. Just like with humans, plants are attracted and repelled by the nature of other plants. The study of this subject is called companion planting. In companion planting, you'll find that there are plants that repel other plants, worst insect pest, and there are yet other plants that benefit their neighbors by releasing certain elements into the soil that are beneficial for the growth of another plant. This too is the study of companion planting. Now, in a survival situation, companion planting becomes an invaluable tool to the success of your food production gardens. One other method of protecting your food crops is to make certain that you rotate your crops. Do not plant the same vegetables in the same spot year after year, because it can cause all kinds of trouble, from fungal diseases to insect pests issues and nutrient depletion issues. So make certain you always rotate your crops. Let's start our discussion with sweet potatoes. In general, the sweet potato is a relatively problem-free vegetable, but as a rule of thumb, the best companion plants for the sweet potato will be the root vegetables, such as parsnips and beets. Bush beans are good with sweet potato, and certain varieties of pole beans are as well. Now, if you're having issues with the sweet potato weevil, then planting summer savory near the sweet potato patch will be very beneficial in repelling these pests. Don't plant pumpkins and squash near sweet potatoes, though, because the vines compete with one another. And once again, your best defense against insect pest is good soil nutrition. The next crop to discuss is the squashes and pumpkins. Now, you'll find that if you plant 3 to 4 radish seeds and a few nasturtium seeds in the squash and pumpkin mounds at the top, and just let them go to seed through the growing season, will repel most insect pests from this crop. Remember that squash and pumpkins will cross-pollinate, so keep your different cultivars planted as far from one another as you can. The next crop to discuss is the regular potato. Potatoes do very well when planted with beans, the cabbage family, and horseradish, if they're planted close by. Potatoes do not grow well planted close to cucumbers, squashes, or pumpkins, tomatoes, and raspberries. These plants will stunt the potato plant's growth and make it more susceptible to disease, so keep them far away from the potato. Also, keep potatoes far away from apple trees. The next crops are turnips, rutabagas, and beets. Beans, onions, lettuce, and peas are good companion plants for these root vegetables. And as a rule, these root vegetables, if you've got good soil nutrition, are relatively easy to grow. Now, the next crops are the peanuts, peas, and beans. Peas, peanuts, and beans grow well with carrots, turnips, beets, radishes, cucumbers, corn, beans, and potatoes. Make certain that the peas, beans, and peanuts are planted far away from onions and garlic, because it will deter their growth. The next crop is the sunflowers. Don't grow sunflowers close to potato plants or pole beans, as they inhibit each other's growth. Sunflowers and corn are mutually beneficial to each other when grown together. As a rule, though, sunflowers will produce an area of little growth around the base of their plant, so plant them off to the side. Now, the next crops are kale, collard, mustard greens, and things of that nature, greens. All of these plants do well when planted with potatoes and cabbage. The next crop is the tomato plants. Tomato plants grow very healthy and strong when they're planted with carrots. They have got a lovely flavor to them too, onions and garlic. But keep all members of the cabbage family far away from tomatoes. One of the best things you can do for the overall health and vitality of your survival garden patch is to use mulch, no matter what climate you're in. Mulch will help to keep the weeds down. It will help to keep the soil from cooking the root systems of your vegetables from the summer sun, and will provide a good home for beneficial worms and beneficial mycelium to flourish. Add to this fact that it's a ton of excellent organic material that will enhance next year's garden patch. You can't beat it when all is said and done. Now, things you can use for mulch are things like old cardboard boxes, grasses, hays, straw, leaves. Don't use evergreen needles though, as these are really super acid. Basically, any organic material that you can find will work well for this task. If you only have a limited supply of mulch, then mulch your tomatoes first, then your sweet potatoes next. If you have mulch left, then mulch your regular potatoes, and then on down the list from there. When you mulch, make certain you use enough mulch. A layer of about 4 inches will help to keep down weeds and is ideal, but anything is better than nothing. Do not be over-enthusiastic about hoeing out every weed. A certain amount of wild weeds can be very beneficial to your survival garden if they're small and don't compete for the light. Also, if you continuously hoe your survival garden, you will be disturbing the soil close to the plant's delicate root systems that are near the surface. This is really bad. The goal is to hoe as little as possible. You don't want to walk on the soil. You don't want to hoe the soil. Only just the bare amount of what you need. Okay. The goal is to hoe as little as possible. This is where mulch is so beneficial. Having low-growing weeds around your plants is okay and will serve as a natural mulch all on its own. The only weeds you need to keep on top of are big and tall types. These you must get rid of. Now, it's easier to get your garden space of these types of weeds by catching them when they're small, no more than the 4-leaf stage. Then it's simple matter to simply hoe them out. If you wait, they will be too well grown into the soil to remove easily. At this point, you would have to hand pull them, which can be a huge, labor-intensive situation. A good balance is to see what grows in your garden and handle it accordingly. For the most part, you should only hoe once every week or two. As your plants get bigger, they can hold their own against most weeds, and your requirement for hoeing is far, far less. The problems with weeds are primarily when they're still very small. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.